Welcome back to the NACL. We have Tilt Rehab and MikuHatsune, and we will be playing this matchup for the division title. Winner takes all of the 10,000 ice that is available, and the loser gets the second seed. So these two teams coming off of really good seasons so far in the NACL, and they're looking to make a splash in the playoffs. I'm here with my friend Maxman. So Maxman, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. I like how every time we say, how are you doing? We literally talked a few minutes prior to every match. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, yes, we are doing absolutely awesome. And we are hyped for this game, for your daily NACL action. It's going to be then having Tilt Rehab, your usual VPL team, priorly known as Team Misfits. Going to be going at it up against MikuHatsune. The MikuHatsune, they made their way up right until this division championship. So I'm actually hyped. Like, I haven't seen, I saw one match of MikuHatsune. They've done really well. I haven't seen like all their matches. So I really want to see how MikuHatsune is going to be diving into this match, knowing they're going up against, like, not any team, they're going up against Tilt Rehab here.
Yeah, well, you have to think both of these teams in the regular season have gone undefeated, and they really do both deserve the spot that they're in. But this is really where things get hard. And when the playoff time comes, you don't necessarily deal with the teams that have had a couple of issues here and there. These are teams that are completely solid. MikuHatsune, despite the fact that, okay, maybe they're not, how would you say, the VPL level teams, they're not bad at all. And it's not saying that they're even just worse. That's just what happens sometimes. So they have really proved their worth here in the NACL, and they're looking to take down Tilt Rehab.
Yeah, that's indeed what they're going to try and pull off today. It seems like draft has just started, so we're going to have to try and keep an eye out. Like, we saw EU matches earlier, like in VPL. We were seeing like Reza pickups like being very dominant. Also Scarf. That is also the case in NA. So on the NACL, we're going to be trying to see and look forward to those picks like the Grumpshaw, the Reza, the Scarf mid, just bursting through. Like, there's so many good heroes in 3.2 as we are playing in 3.2. We're going to have to try and keep an eye out for those kind of heroes because they did get kind of untouched between 2.1 and 3.2. And now you just got those few powerhouses that we're going to have to see if they're going to be going for the ban or if they're going to try to pick it up right off the bat when they do have that pick phase.
Well, yeah, you did talk a little bit about how the meta's changed, and really I feel like it's been more of like the mid-game kind of matchups, right? Where Scarf is exceptional, whereas as you have said is good. Samuel really starts to get going in that mid-game. So it's people with those mid-game power spikes. I've also seen some strategies like with Idris and Jungle Idris that likes to help someone push a lane. So a lot of innovation here because we've kind of toned down the level of how the tanks work, and they've kind of scaled them back, and they're just not quite as good. Now we're reaching a point where you see much less tanky teams.
Yeah, like they do go a lot for those glass cannon like comps. You did see that earlier in the VPL also. Like, you can really translate to what you're going to be seeing here as you do have Tilt Rehab being that VPL team. So they're going to be going towards those kind of similar kind of picks. As we see like the timer getting to 0 there. So I do not know what the players on the side of MikuHatsune are actually doing. Maybe overthinking their ban. Maybe going to be going for a flicker ban. Don't know. We're going to have to try and keep an eye out for that one. Like, because MikuHatsune is on the A side, right? They're good to try and prioritize these like first picks that are highly prioritized like throughout all the tournaments. Like, I think when I'm thinking of is Lyra, Reza, like Scarf also, like those kind of heroes. Wouldn't be surprised to see them like getting first pick if they do make it through the ban phase. So we're gonna have to try and see if that will indeed be the case. And MikuHatsune really taking their time right here.
All right, so finally they've gotten their first ban down, and it's going to be Celeste. And I do like this ban. I think that Celeste is one of those heroes that everyone can play to a certain level simply because, or a good level because of how dominant she's been in 3.1. But now that we're in 3.2 and she hasn't been touched at all, she's decent. Melina, I was going to say I want to see her, but Tilt Rehab just is not interested in letting
Melina? Did you say Melina? Say Meline.
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 What? Okay, I guess Blackfeather pronounces it wrong. Dang.
No, it's Meline. Have you seen Meline? Just wondering. That's okay. It's fine.
Oh wow! All right, rip me. So you did say Lyra, and that's what MikuHatsune is going to go with.
That's like such a good first pick. Like, Lyra is one of the best. Like, why not even the best aroma so far in Vainglory in the 3.2 patch? Was the case in 3.1, but still throughout 3.2. That's going to be on the side of MikuHatsune. And you were talking about the Samuel. Like, both of our heroes we were expecting are going to be picked on the rise. Tilt Rehab going to be having Kestrel and Samuel. And we're going to have to see if that Kestrel's going to be going CP mid with Samuel top, or Samuel will be going mid and having Kestrel on one of those side lanes.
Okay, so Fortress is the pick here. I think that's a bit kind of risky because you're forcing either a Lyra into the lane or Fortress into the jungle. So you have to essentially play around with that. Now Fortress still has pretty decent base stats, and I think he's worth a pickup, but I'm not sure really where MikuHatsune is going right now. Rona now the ban for Rehab.
Yeah, they're going to ban that Rona right off the bat. I think they just didn't want one of those tanky front lanes to go like with that dive potential and the sustained potential from Fortress and Lyra combined. So I think that's a very smart ban on the side of Tilt Rehab right there. They know what they're going towards, and they also like they're anticipating what they're trying to do on the side of MikuHatsune. They're expecting them to go towards that like dive and sustain kind of comp. So like very smart ban, second ban for Tilt Rehab. We'll have to see what they want to do and answer on the side of MikuHatsune, as they once again are taking a little bit more time out of that clock for their second ban. I like Fortress. I'd expect to see Fortress more in that jungle position, and then having Lyra just fully roaming and just trying to get as much heal as possible in those engages, and that's going to be then answered with a Tony ban that has like Tony does really well up against dive comps. So like once again, like both sides are doing really perfect drafting so far.
Well, what I want to see here from Tilt Rehab is I want them to pull out Churn Walker, especially with the composition that they have. They can really get decent burst, especially early with Samuel with the Churn Walker. And I feel like honestly, Churn Walker's been probably the best roamer of 3.2 thus far. But they still do have options, and both teams at least MikuHatsune have a couple of lanes to fill out. So that means that they're given the opportunity to try and counter some opposing lanes. You think that for Tilt Rehab, Samuel's most likely going to go in the mid lane, so you can kind of craft your matchups around that.
Yeah, but like it can also be like Samuel's also a very good and viable top laner. But like we're gonna have to keep an eye out. Like when we're gonna go deep into this draft, we're gonna have more information on the position of that Samuel and Kestrel duo for Tilt Rehab. We're gonna have to keep an eye out. Like so far, as you did just mention, like there's no lane picks on the side of MikuHatsune, so they're gonna have to try and like make good decisions because they can start now to anticipate where they're going to be and what heroes they're going to be playing up against. Like Samuel is going to be mid top, Kestrel where's she going to be. Then the next laner that's going to be picked up for the side of Tilt Rehab is going to be Idris. So like Idris, once again, like he can be played CB, can be played weapon, can be played top, mid, bot. Like he can be played basically on any lane. So like it's very foggy on the side of Tilt Rehab as to where and how they're going to be playing this comp.
You're going to laugh, but I think this is actually going to be a jungle Idris.
You think it's going to be a jungle Idris?
Yes. No, okay. So Reza is the pickup for MikuHatsune. But yeah, so Idris, it's funny enough, this has been one of the more recent Theory Crafter picks. Viziox, who's definitely, I would say, one of the better analysts in the VG scene, has started to Theory Craft this, which is get a jungle Idris, start to kind of let him clear parts of the jungle, but then use him with a couple of early crystal bits to just push a lane really hard. Now, Blackfeather and Reza are here for most of the dive, and we do see Grace on the side of Tilt Rehab as their support. So I'm kind of, I don't necessarily want to say confused, but I feel like Blackfeather was a bit of a strange pick for MikuHatsune.
But I think like they really want to try and go towards that full dive comp. Like Blackfeather is a really good dive hero, but they also need a back lane hero. They got the Lyra, but she's going to be roam. They need that like damage output coming out from the back lane on the side of MikuHatsune. So they do not have that yet. They have a lot of opportunities still open. Like you have like Celestus ban. So you have Varya. Like Varya does a very good NA pick, and they do not have a mid laner. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Varya coming out on the side of MikuHatsune. So you're going to have to make a decision there. But like Reza, I'm not surprised. Like Reza made it through this far out in the draft, and Reza is just one of those powerhouses in that burst and assassin role. So really good pick on the side of MikuHatsune. I expect him to go towards a Spellfire because you're going up against a Divine Intervention output that's going to be coming out from the Grace on the side of Tilt Rehab. So like to try and nullify a bit that ultimate. He's going to try and build Spellfire, in my opinion. We're going to have to see, but that's really smart. I was talking about the Varya and Tilt Rehab just banned it right off the bat because that means that the mid laner possibilities for MikuHatsune are completely cut down to nothing. What can they pick right now? I do not know. We're going to have to see
just
that.
A scarf.
Just a scarf.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I really like what Tilt Rehab did with their draft. So they kind of I think they're okay with playing into the scarf. But what they did was as soon as MikuHatsune picked up the Lyra, look at what they did. They went
Mm.
for Samuel Kestrel, two of the best poke heroes, and immediately forced MikuHatsune into a different comp. I'm assuming that what happened here was that MikuHatsune just kind of had an idea of in their head of, all right, we're gonna get the Lyra, we're gonna pair it with the Kestrel, maybe put a Samuel in there. But now the problem is that as soon as those two were picked up, they just got punched in the teeth in terms of drafting. They almost, I don't necessarily want to say went into panic mode, but they went for a fortress and then went full dive. I would have liked to have
Mm.
seen them go for something like a Lorelei if they're going to use it in that utility position to really follow up on those abilities. And Glaive,
What? So
I
is that
don't
going to be a CP mid Black Feather or Reza?
I,
Oh.
maybe it's mid Lyra.
Maybe it's a mid Lyra. I mean, it would be Rome Fortress. That would make actually sense having it in that light. Like that Glaive matchup like switches everything around because that means that should be then a Rome Fortress CP Lyra mid, Reza then top, Black Feather bot, or maybe the other way around, depends on where you want to swatch it, and jungle. Or it can be jungle Reza. Like it can like these are so foggy. Like you do not know what they want to do. Like they got you can see that they're putting like thought in their draft, but like just checking it out like that is kind of hard to guess where they're going to be going. So it's going to be very interesting when we're going to be getting
Ooh.
into the game and see what they're going to pick up. But the last pick is going to be, you're talking about Chermolka being one of the best roams so far, and it's going to be the last pick for Tilt Rehab here.
All right, I have to say that Tilt Rehab came out with a beautiful draft. So not only do they have a ton of backline poke, but they have supports. You have no idea where basically anyone that isn't named Samuel is going to go. You're playing up against at least a Reza and most likely a Black Feather both in lane, both of which can get bullied out incredibly easy by tons of poke. I have to say that I'm really scared here for Miku Hatsune with just this draft phase.
Okay, we'll see you guys in a second. Hey, and let's go. We are slowly going to be trying to enter this first game of a BO3. As a reminder, this is Tilt Rehab versus MikuHatsune in the Division Championship. So they got everything to win and also everything to lose in this game. So the stakes are high. We're going to be entering slowly on the Sovereign's Rise to try and see what team is going to be coming out victorious in this first game of this BO3. And like, Tree, with these drafts now finalized, who do you think is going to be able to take the advantage in this first game?
I have to say that Tilt Rehab really looked much stronger with their composition. They have potentially all three lanes down on lockdown. I don't really see any lanes with potentially any matchups that really MikuHatsune wins. Like maybe you get a couple of fancy ganks with Glaive, but it's just kind of I don't know. It feels like an undecisive comp, if that makes sense.
It does make like it is a bit like just draft wise, you see that like they're going for that really like dive potential, like trying to burst down the members on the side of Tilt Rehab. So it's like it's a smart play because you're going up against a Samuel, going up against a Kestrel. If you don't let them like scale up in those fights, you can like take it quite easily if you take away one of the main damage dealers on their side. But after that, you got the Chermolka, you got the Grace, you got those two heroes who do extremely well against dive comps. So it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be relying more on that Grace and Chermolka pickups on the side of Tilt Rehab. Because if they're able to play those heroes properly and like deal with the dive potential on the side of MikuHatsune, I think I'm going to be going here with the side of Tilt Rehab because they got a lot of potential to deal with dive comps.
Yeah, all right. So I guess we're both going all in on the Tilt Rehab predictions. So we'll see how that works out. But overall, you see, we've seen this a lot, especially in EU, where you just kind of have a 5-man mid lane focus, get this first lane down incredibly quickly, then rotate off for a gank.
Yeah, and look at that raft about the hook and chains, doing a bit of damage, just going to be forcing them under turret, just pressurizing a little bit. And looks like we're going to be having Rehab and try and pressurize, probably taking and secured for themselves that first crystal treant. He's going to be spawning in a second there. Now it's going to be a little bit of a fight situation. They're just going to be zoning out. I'm just going to let that one slip away for now. At least as we see into the bot lane, though, that's going to be 2 Hurricane Chains connecting on Blanks and MikuHatsune. And that's going to be just forcing Blanks away. Going to be popping the healing flash just in time. And that's going to be almost a kill going over to Rehab. But that was Blanks surviving another day.
Yeah, so this is still really good, though. Yes, you didn't get the kill. You didn't get the first blood, but you get to go after a couple of buffs. The gold oak is still open. I don't think that they know that, but...
Oh. Blanks, be careful. It looks like Blanks, they want to go for it. It's going to be stolen there by Blanks. Was the on point. That was an on point, if you know what I mean. Okay, that was Puns 101. So that's going to be a little bit of a deny coming out on the side of MikuHatsune, just avoiding an early lead coming out from the side of Tilt Rehab. So they just, if they like, that's a nice move, like, good one.
No, that was an incredible move. So I did say that I was like, oh hey, maybe it'll be like a jungle interest. Instead, what they're doing is they're really just focusing on their bot lane. Really, we've seen this a lot. Really, just let Idris buy a bunch of crystal bits, let him unlock his divergent crystal path, and then start to snowball the game from there.
Yeah, but like right now, I think like with 4 crystal bits, you do get that unlocked, or is it 5? I do not remember exactly the number. But that's going to be Marco trying to defend with a Holy Nova, his own first bot lane turret. He's going to be doing that successfully. He's just going to be going in that 1v2 situation. They're pressurizing really well for this game, so going to have to try and keep that up so far. And we're going to see another engagement there. Double Holy Nova does connect. We must know that Blanks does not have that healing flask up anymore, as he did use it for the first engagement up against Tilt Rehab. That's going to be a successful 1v2 for Maokai so far.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now, if you are MikuHatsune, you just want to sustain in lane. You don't want to get crushed immediately by this top lane duo of Idris and Kestrel.
Damn it, Kyo 3 almost going down. Once again, the healing flask just saving the day for the side of MikuHatsune.
Oh, no, he got pulled?
Yeah, he got pulled away. That was close, but that was the protector. Sorry, I'm mistaken the protector contract from Kyo. It is a dragon blood contract. So now we're going to be seeing a little bit of Rehab. They're trying to deny once again the jungle camps. Is it going to be stolen again, as it did happen earlier for the Black Feather? Going to have to try and keep an eye out for that one. Unfortunately, Fez and MikuHatsune are way too low to do anything right now, and that's going to be a little bit of a steal right there. The Kyo 3, like the pressure they're applying in mid with that Samurai and Chenwoo can match up. Like that wombo combo of 2 heroes is absolutely huge and game changing.
Yeah, when you can get 1 hook on someone, you just get a little bit more damage. When you get 2, you just get kills, Miku.
Yeah, Miku just going to be denied once again. His jungle camps, he's just going to be forced to back away. And that's just like Rehab, like putting a lot of pressure. And that's what we want to see when you have that kind of like siege comp potential. Like go on objectives and do not move away from it. And so far they're doing really good.
Yeah, no, they're doing really well. And they're successfully stealing some jungle camps. I really think that's what's given them Aki.
Well, Aki there going fairly low. He has got the hook and chain on him. That's with just backing up to base saying, oh no, get out of that on your own. And that's going to be the kill going down to the corrupted genius of Jazzville. First blood, late first blood, going down in 4 minutes to the side of Tilt Rehab.
Well, I think Tilt Rehab is just happy that they got that first blood in the first place. So now that they've got that, what can they push? They know that the weapon trench should be up, and they found 2 people here in the jungle.
The hook and chains are going wild for Ali Peterson right there. They're applying a lot of pressure, just putting the damage all over the board. Nice Holy Nova. It's going to be secured this time by Tilt Rehab. No steal coming out for the side of MikuHatsune. That's Blanks going failure. Just pop the healing fast. Maybe the Feint of Heart. That's going to be Holy Nova. Double man connect. But that's going to be also Ali Peterson going down. And that's going to be 2 kills going over to the side of MikuHatsune. Going to be a bit too greedy there, Tilt Rehab. You will be losing your advantage.
All right, so I was certain that Blanks would go down there, but the on-point barrier plus a little bit of healing from Ile Loves Aki was able to let them sustain just enough and take the 4 versus 2. The damage just wasn't quite there for Tilt Rehab, and so they've lost a couple of kills, but still they have the gold lead and don't need to worry just yet. But in days like that, you need to be careful.
Yeah, but like right now, you see the side of Tilt Rehab. They know the timers of the rotation of the enemy jungle for MikuHatsune. So like when they spawn up, they're just going to go towards that, try and look for kills. Unfortunately, it didn't work out there, but they know the rotation, and that could be such a huge advantage when you're able to steal those camps effectively. But for the time being, in that top lane, we're going to be seeing an afterburn. Going to be denied by the Torment there. Going to take quite a chunk of damage. First turret of the game going to be going down in the top lane to the side of Tilt Rehab. Was a very successful 3-man push. With that, Kestrel just takes down objectives in a flick.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. Was just that Arky and SME eventually will push down the lane. Unless you send a ton to deal with them to gank something, they will beat their lane matchup because there's just no range. You can't take out their poke. So they're just going to keep pushing down this lane until someone just tells them that they can't, or they just don't have enough turrets in their way.
They're just going for it. They do not care. Like, already mid-turret, mid-HP in that 2v3 push right there. So it's very good for Tilt Rehab. If they're able to take down that second objective, the next team fights are going to be completely to their advantage. They're going to have more room to actually go and fight, which is against like the advantage of MikuHatsune, because MikuHatsune are looking to dive, and they're looking for more room to dive upon. But if they get, like, if it's the other way around and they get engaged, they don't have the best comp to like escape from those kind of situations. Like if they use already their dive potential abilities, and they're just going to be locked there, they're not going to be able to back away effectively. So like taking those turrets, Tilt Rehab know exactly what they must do. One-shot kill coming out from SME, trying to get the kill on Aki. Unfortunately not finding quite the angle quite yet. That's a tension bow purchase though on the glaive, played by Fee, so that's going to be helping out quite a bit. But that's an early game item, and he's only just unlocked it, so you can see Fizz is a little bit in a struggle in this game.
Yeah, they're having a little bit of struggle, but it's also because Tilt Rehab really focused on their rotation. Went from bottom to mid, now to the Ghost Wing. It's just perfect, and they can push whatever lane that they want. Mope here?
Yeah, just taking his time. He's just trying to take the time for his team to, trying to give the time to his team, Tilt Rehab, to take down that Ghost Wing. That's going to be a really early Ghost Wing. You literally spawned a few minutes ago. That's going to be completely to the advantage of Tilt Rehab. The next team fights are going to be even more scarier for MikuHatsune, as they will be having that buff. And that's going to be then Lyra just with a Spellfire first item, which I haven't like that. I think that's the first time I've seen like a mage Lyra go and Spellfire first item. So like, what do you think of that like itemization for the Lyra?
I don't like it at all. I feel like the Spellfire is as good as it is. You're basically using it specifically for the sigil. And yes, it is a decent AoE. It is a decent AoE Mortal Wounds, but I feel like it's a waste of where you could have had much better damage with a couple of other items. The Alternating Current is the obvious choice. Dragon's Eye is also good.
Oh, kill! Almost pulled back in that one-shot kill. That was quite impressive. But for the time being, in the bot lane, we did have a successful push by MikuHatsune. They took down Maokai, and then they were able to secure that first bot lane turret for themselves. So very nice push for the side of MikuHatsune. Now we do have a 3v2 situation. That's going to be attack of the pack coming up from Kyo3. They're trying to pressurize Ali Peterson and Jazil, but that's going to be in vain, as they're not going to be able to push them away that far, as they still have their first mid lane turret. That's going to be like the second turret then pushed down by Tilt Rehab. They're pressurizing so well those objectives, and in 5v5 right now in Vainglory, the objective is what will give you the game, and they're pulling this off perfectly so far.
Well, you want to talk about pulling off perfectly. Look at how much damage they're doing to this top lane now. They are going to have a couple people here to try and deal with them, but no hard TC.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to pull it off quite yet, and now we're just going to be like they almost cracked open the base on the top lane, so they're going to be looking for that. That's going to be a dive on Kyo3 under that turret. He's going to be taking those minus some verdicts to the face. One kill going to be missing quite closely. Goldoku wants to be a part of this. He wants to dive the turret with the side of Tilt Rehab, but unfortunately going to be going down there, and that's a 5-man successful push once again for Tilt Rehab. They're pushing together, and that's what makes them strong. Now they're just going to be having to sustain. The Divide Intervention did come out by Maokai just to allow his team to keep on that push long enough. Are they going to be able to crack open the choke point turret in this top lane? I think that's going to be indeed working out perfectly for Tilt Rehab. Now they're just going to be probably calling their day, just going to back away. We're only 9 minutes into the game, and opening the enemy base in only 9 minutes is absolutely huge. And like, if they keep at it, I do not see how MikuHatsune can come out in this game in terms of objective.
I really don't either. The problem is that really, for MikuHatsune, they're not utilizing their composition to its fullest. Yes, obviously you get pressured quite heavily in this early game, but what are you going to do with a Black Feather, a Glaive, a Reza, and a Fortress? You have to be aggressive. Find a pick. Use the Afterburn. Has Fez had a single impactful Afterburn this entire game? I haven't really seen any. So.
Yeah. And as we have now, Ghost Ring is now spawned, and looks like Till Rehab, they're just not even going to think about it. They're just going to go right for that Ghost Ring. They do have the vision there. MikuHatsune is around, probably going to try and steal it. I don't think it's going to be successful, though. It doesn't have that much of a steal potential. And that will be going once again over to the side of Tilt Rehab. So for the next few minutes, you're going to be seeing Tilt Rehab on an absolute roller coaster as they're going to be trying to pick up the next upcoming fight soon enough. They're sticking together as a team, and they're looking to try and push this bot lane that so far is the only lane that hasn't been pushed successfully by the side of Tilt Rehab. But that's going to be Blank's completely caught out. Going to be using a nicely timed Rose offensive to get away from the trespass, even though he uses his second stack there of Rose offensive to get away from the grasp of Tilt Rehab. And they're just going to be focusing down those turrets as if it was nothing.
Well, it basically is nothing. Who cares about these turns now? And they're just going to keep pushing, let the minions come with them, and just keep pushing until someone tells them to stop. They notice that there's 2 people, actually 3 people here up in mid lane, so they can just...
The one-way combo. Holy Nova, Torment coming out there, able to get a lot of CC down on Fear. It's going to be forcing out that Afterburn, going to be able to escape to safety. And looks like they might even try and end the game right here. Ali Peterson is quite low. He's going to have to try and pay attention. That's going to be the first Armory going down to Tilt Rehab. They cracked open once again the base of MikuHatsune. But this is a time where you want to see MikuHatsune trying to engage his fight. But that's going to be an active camo. Proc with that. And that's going to be the end, unfortunately, for MikuHatsune right there. Now they're going to be trying to crack open even more this enemy base from MikuHatsune as they're going to be taking down this mid lane choke point turret successfully once again. Like, these pushes of Tilt Rehab work so well, and MikuHatsune have nothing to respond to those pushes, and they're just pulling it off like really well. And now they're just trying to take, like, even widen more that gap by stealing their enemy's jungle.
Well, the problem is that there's no one on the side of MikuHatsune who's tanky, so whenever any skill shot lands or hits, whether it be a Glimmer shot, a Malice and Verdict, an Idris Chakram, there's nothing there to body block for you. There's no one there that can actually take any damage, so you just almost instantly get destroyed. And with the way that Tilt Rehab has been playing, you've got 3 skill shots at a single time to be dodging. And oh, by the way, Grace can engage on you when she feels like it. You can have a random Torment, and there's just too much right now for MikuHatsune to deal with.
Oh, be careful. It looks like another little bit of a skirmish there. It's going to be secured, that crystal camp for the side of Tilt Rehab. 1-shot 1 kill. Going to be missing out closely. Trespass. Going to be crucibled out just on time. Now, Ali Peterson still staying wild in those fights. That's going to be 2 kills going over to the side of Tilt Rehab. Oblivion going to be missing out shortly. And that's going to be just like, what do you want to say? That's just a perfect fight from Tilt Rehab. They just like turned that fight around. They were like mathematically outplayed there, but they still like done it perfectly well. And that's going to be they're just going to be diving right into the enemy base, going for those armories, and they're going to be looking to try and end this game as the defense from the Vein Crystal is now put down. Blank's one-man standing. He's going to be able to do that one-man army move. He's going right for Jazzville, but unfortunately that will not be enough as we do have Aki spawning back. They're just going to be going down like flies one by one, and this will be game number 1 of this BO3 going over to Tilt Rehab.
Yeah, Tilt Rehab really showing their prowess on their composition. I really think that their dominance started from the drafting phase, from the very first 2 characters that they picked to the very last engagement that they had. They were never they may have been outmanned, but they were never actually outgunned. So they're looking into game 2 incredibly strong. They had what was essentially a dominating performance, despite the fact that they only had 11 kills. It was like every single objective was just destroyed on the map. In fact, I think literally every objective was taken, with the lone exception of the Black Claw. So
Black Claw like spawned literally like only 1 minute 20 seconds at this point. So like they didn't need it. Like, they were pushing it so like you have Kestrel, you have Samuel, and CP Idris. They are some of the best heroes to push down objectives, to put up those siege comps. And if you're pairing that up with a Grace, with a Chumel, could just have that extra defense line, I'm going to be pushing it successfully, and you're not going to be like taken down, because like, even though on the side of MikuHatsune they were going for that dive comp, they weren't able to pull it off because they were pressurizing so well. And when they wanted to engage fights, unfortunately 1, 2, 3 of their members were already low, and they just couldn't commit to any actual fights. So that's why right now, like, MikuHatsune lost so many objectives. If they want to try and take game number 2 for themselves, they're going to have to try and draft something a little bit more well-rounded. You can go for a dive comp, but you must have something that, like, fixes, like, your missing parts. Like here, they didn't have enough tanky heroes. You did just mention that. They need more tankiness if they want to be able to dive in those in the enemy team and like survive it long enough so you can take down members of the side of Tilt Rehab. So like, game number 1 going over to Tilt Rehab. We're going to have to see what these 2 teams are going to be doing in draft of game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I think really for MikuHatsune, you need to be more flexible with your drafts. If you really thought that the Lyra first pick mid lane was a good idea, well, I am extremely worried for you. But at the same time, what most likely was the case was you were looking for poke composition, and certain heroes just weren't available. You're just not being flexible with your comp. Tilt Rehab read it and took the heroes straight out of your hands,
Hmm.
and even then, it's just bad options. It really comes down to what are you doing in your draft. And once they had firmly lost the drafting phase, even though they had a couple of tools to maybe come and shut down the Kestrel to get on top of other heroes, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, that was true. Like, it just completely wasn't enough into this game. We're gonna have to try. Like, we expect MikuHatsune right now to try step it up in this draft. They must go for, like, once again, like a more rounded up team. That makes a little bit more sense because, like, they could have picked up Scarf. They could have, like, they had opportunities. Even though the Vario got banned, like Scarf was still there. I think Scarf would have done like fairly well up against like squishy back-lane if you're able to snipe it properly. Would have been really well against the squishy back-lane of Tilt Rehab. Fortunately, didn't pick that hero. Just they just a little bit forgot about Scarf right there, but it's still fine. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna be slowly trying to enter draft of game number 2. And like you, Trish60 No Scope, like what do you expect? Like in terms of draft, like both of these teams to go towards.
Well, I want to see MikuHatsune just go for the more typical meta type of compositions. Don't look for anything fancy unless you really, really have a pocket pick. If for some reason they come out with the world's best mid lane flicker, then fine, go do it. But really, I think that they just need to have a standard draft and play Tilt Rehab on even footing. Uh, just because they haven't had that yet. They haven't had a game or even any situation where they've played against Tilt Rehab and won because their compositions were just so tilted, I guess. If that's a good.
Yeah. Well, good pun there. I'll give it to you if that was intended. Gonna try and see. We're gonna have the players slowly gonna be re-entering the group, so we can get going with game number 2. As a reminder, this is the BO3. This is the Division Championship of the North American Champion League. That means now, as Tilt Rehab did take game number 1, if they're able to take this second game for themselves, that means they're going to be in a 2-0 situation. They'll take the win and they will be winning this Division Championship with everything that comes with it. So it's going to be like, the stakes are high and a lot of pressure is on the shoulders of MikuHatsune, and we're going to have to see if they're able to make it back to a 1-1 situation.
Yeah, well, we will see. So the draft will be on its way eventually.
At some point.
Yeah, at some point. We'll get
just waiting for the draft link, but we'll get that soon, I guess. It's fine. But perfect. I was just gonna do fillers, but apparently don't need to. We have the link for the draft, and we're gonna be ongoing now. Tilt Rehab is on once again. No, sorry, not once again. No, Tilt Rehab is probably on the A side, so that's cool. And so we are ready to go with the draft, and we're gonna have to see. Like, you guys in chat, please tell us what team you're rooting for. Hashtag Tilt or hashtag Miku. Please tell us, and we'll be able to see what team you guys are supporting.
All right. So yeah, throw your support out there. MikuHatsune needs some love, especially after a game like that. You know, it always hurts. And honestly, you have to think, what are these teams feeling, especially as they go into the postseason? Because say MikuHatsune were to just kind of lose this game, it is very much a tilting factor to have your divisional championship and lose that. I think it almost would have been better in my head to have just kind of been in the playoffs and just be there instead of going to the playoffs, losing a best of 3, and now you're just there. It's just an extra loss for you to take.
Yeah, that's very true. And then we're going to be going with the first ban of this game, Tilt Rehab. Going to be banning right off the bat that Lyra pickup. So, like, I found that a bit weirded out knowing that, like, their A side and that Lyra is one of the best first picks. But they're still banning it out anyway. So we're going to have to see what MikuHatsune do decide to ban. They have a lot of things up their sleeve. Like, you can ban the Reza, you can ban the Cruel. I think Cruel would be the better ban for MikuHatsune, because when you give a Cruel, there's that huge powerhouse. Even though his early game has been nerfed, like his late game after he's scaled is absolutely horrible. Like, it's not horrible, but it's like horrible to play up against. So I think Cruel right here for MikuHatsune would be the best ban decision, because if it gets in the hands of Tilt Rehab, we all know how good Tilt Rehab is. If they get that crawl, it's going to be extremely scary for the second game for Hatsune.
Yes, but as a counterpoint, one word, Taka. Uh,
Also, Taka, but like both heroes are very scary if it's played by a VPL team. So like, it's gonna be interesting though. Okay.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I dig this.
Yeah.
I think this is really MikuHatsune understanding what lost them that last game. If they can start to take portions of what Tilt Rehab had in their composition to think, all right, what are we drafting into our mid lane? You have Kestrel now, and so you have a decent bit of poke with just what you have. It's what do you go forward with? Who are the roams? What are these bands? I want to see a couple of roams here banned, and of course the Charn Walker out for MikuHatsune.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try and keep an eye out for that. Indeed, then it's gonna be like Tilt Rehab was that Kestrel. Like once again, like we said last game when it got drafted out. Wait, and OBS crashed. 1 moment, please. Okay, apparently we have some technical difficulties. So I do not know if we're still on stream. But we'll continue as if it is so. Then it's going to have the Kestrel picked up on Tilt Rehab. So that's going to be like, it can be played in multiple kind of positions. So you're going to have to try and keep an eye out for that one. It's going to be answered back with that Tony ban for Tilt Rehab and the Chermoka ban on the side of MikuHatsune. So like two really good roams. Tony can be also played in jungle position, but like two very good bans and meta bans coming out from both sides. So like so far, so good. Like the draft makes sense.
Yeah, no, the draft makes sense, and this feels a lot better for MikuHatsune. Arden is their choice of a roamer. I wouldn't be super surprised to see either team go for Lorelei. She's been a much better pick, especially as of late. But MikuHatsune with Arden, the obvious synergies with both Celeste and Rona are real, and I can completely understand the pick.
Yeah, Arden like is a very good pick when you want to go on that fully dive potential. With the Rhino just going to be trying to sustain in the middle of like those team fights. It's going to be answered back with the Grace pickup for Tilt Rehab. So it can be played as a top weapon, also can be played as a roam. So that's a very nice flex pick coming up from Tilt Rehab. And like one thing that I got to say is like, where's the Cruel? I want to see me want to see Cruel right now. It's still available. We don't have a jungler picked up right now, at least for Tilt Rehab. MikuHatsune, they got the Rona, can be played lane, can be played jungler, but like they still got like spots available, and like Cruel is still has made it so far in the draft without getting picked. So maybe he's going to be picked up. I'd like to see a Cruel this game.
Yeah, I think that Kroll would make a little bit more sense, but again, you have to think, what do each team actually need? In terms of needs for Tilt Rehab, I would think that they should probably go for some sort of jungler, another laner, Lorelei in that interesting position, and MikuHatsune. They really can go with whatever. They have basically two more laners to go after, so I wouldn't be surprised to see things. Honestly, this is where you get into things like a Gwen.
Yeah, like a Gwen. Not sure about that, because like you have the Grace to like can fully engage, and like with your team, like when you have a Malene, when you have a Kestrel, Gwen is something that's like very squishy. Like she's gonna be taken down quite fast. Like it could work out, but she must have like the very good front lane. And so far, you got the Rona, you got the Arden. You can easily go through those two heroes. You don't have high CC potential so far. So if they do like take another front lane hero that deals well with dive, I would dig the Gwen pickup there. But like so far, like let's talk real quick about Rehab, about their draft. They have a Lorelei and Grace on the same side. So like, which one is going to be Rome? Well, is it going to be a top weapon Grace? Is it going to be a CP mid mage Lorelei? Like both are still possible. Like once again, like last game, it's kind of foggy to know where these heroes are going to be played. And anyway, MikuHatsune going to be going towards that Vox pickup. That's just one of the best. Like, why not even the best carry so far in 3.2?
Yeah, no, I mean, that seems pretty reasonable thus far. We're in a weird spot, so finally the Kroll is banned out.
Okay.
Both teams could, at least I would imagine for Tilt Rehab, might want a little bit more tankiness. I think that's where they're going to be going with things. But you have Celeste, Vox for most of your laners. You can put your Rona wherever you are, so you have a lot of flexibility if you are MikuHatsune.
That's very true. Like they're really flexible on these. Like I said, like it's very foggy, so they can go anywhere. So like the flex potential is really good. Like that allows you to like be a more like it puts your enemy team in like a situation where like they have to try and guess, and if they guess wrong, they might put them at a little bit of a disadvantage. So that's very nice. And we are on the 0 seconds timer for the side of MikuHatsune once again. They're using that timer to that full extent, even a little bit longer than actually being used for. So what could they actually ban right now? They're going to be banning off the Samuel as if it was like, because they probably could have played that Samuel mid, they could have played it top, depending on where that Maylene is going to be played. So they're going to have to keep an eye out for what they're going to be going next to the side of Tilt Rehab. Like, what is still available? I think so far they do not have a weapon bot lane carry, but Keshu can be that bot lane carry. Like, there's a lot, like, once again, like, it's very flexible, and we're going to have to see what they decide to go on next for their last pick in this draft.
Yeah, there is a lot now. Adagio. Okay, I like this. So I've talked a little bit about, okay, maybe like you throw out things like a Gwen. Well, the reason you kind of go there is because you're thinking, all right, what else are there in terms of laners that are good? Vox is in that situation. Adagio has been a pick that people have really started to pioneer, and really a weapon power Adagio has been at least a little bit on the rise. We've seen it some in the VPL. Now, Fortress, the final pick for MikuHatsune. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Well, Fortress paired up with Arden and Rona, like it makes some sense, like together. But when you look at the entirety of their draft and how it's going to be working out in terms of synergy, like I find that last pick a little bit surprising. Like, I do not think that until now they knew they wanted to go for a dive comp, because it didn't make like sense to go towards one. I think they would to go more towards like a scaling, stacking, and like tanky comp. But like Fortress is fine. Gonna have to see if it's gonna like, it should be played then as the jungle in the jungle position with having Arden roam. Also might be a weapon Arden, or CP Arden. We've seen quite a few of them. So it's going to be very intriguing to see what they do decide to do. Once again, these are very foggy drafts, so gonna have to see as we do enter the Sovereign's Rise fairly soon. But anyway, like, with these draft now finished, and with this game number 2, like, Tilt Rehab, if they win now, they're going to be coming home with a 2-0 situation against MikuHatsune. So with this draft now ended, 360 no scope, who would you give this game over to?
I still have to say I still have to say that Tilt Rehab has the better draft. It seems like they're kind of theory crafting a little bit with what they want to do and what all the new heroes do in terms of compositions. It really feels like to me that Tilt Rehab, whatever they're doing in their back room in their spare time, seems to be just studying and just having a lot of fun with these new and potentially unexpected compositions. Whereas you see for MikuHatsune a more typical composition, but because of the heavy focus on roams, you see a bit weirder support structure. So, but I dig it.
Yeah, well, they've definitely done their homeworks before entering this tournament, so that's really nice to see Tilt Rehab and MikuHatsune putting some focus on those like really meta heroes. And anyway, we are now on the Sovereign's Rise, ready to go at it for this second game. As a reminder, BO3, first game was taken home by Tilt Rehab. That means that now if Tilt Rehab take this game, they will be going home with a 2-0 situation. But we want to see now MikuHatsune trying to put up the best fight they could to try and avoid getting out of this division championship. So we're going to be looking for, once again, a potential skirmish in this mid lane.
All right, so this is still level 1, but you also are dealing with Marine, who has a really, really good level 1.
Yeah, like Marlene level 1, she's got 3 abilities. When she hits level 2, she's got 5 abilities. So the wombo combo potentials are absolutely endless. That's going to be connecting the CC train on blanks. The CC train is here, and that's going to be the first kill going over to Tilt Rehab. The CC train was absolutely beautiful. I think I've never seen a better one like in about a minute of this game, and like that was just so well played by Tilt Rehab. That's where you see a VPL team having an awesome synergy right there.
Yeah, no, that was actually perfect there by the Maline. Jazville doing quite a good job on landing his light ribbons and just basically getting out a stun.
Yeah, like I like nothing to say. That was just so nicely timed, and that's just going to be like 1 minute 30 into the game. We already got the first blood, came out really early in this game, and we already have a 1k, a little bit more even than 1k gold advantage going over to the side of Tilt Rehab. So far they are slowly building up a small advantage for themselves, and it's going to be then a roam Lorelei, and Maokai going to be going for that Stormguard banner first item to make his farm-in session a little bit easier. But it will be indeed a top lane weapon, weapon grace.
Yeah, it is a top lane weapon, great, but I'm still more focused on this mid lane. You see how threatening that Jasmine and Ali Peterson are here, because as soon as Jasmine is able to land a root with his ribbons, then immediately you have a clamshell, a fish food just right there to back it up, and tons of stuns and CC for this mid lane means that you have to relieve some pressure like this. But
look at the CC train, it's huge. The CC train is absolutely awesome. MikuHatsune trying to get out of the grasp of Jasmine and Ali Peterson. Will be doing that successfully, to the extent where he did have to use up that healing fast for himself to survive throughout that engagement. It just like last game, they're pressurizing those lanes so effectively, forcing up really early healing fast. Again, that first blood, like earlier last game, it was 4 minutes. Now it's just under a minute. They got that one. And now they're going like for 3-man pushes. Like they're just doing up the same thing. And MikuHatsune once again do not know how to answer against those early sieges. And they Till Rehab are doing it's really a pleasure to see them play like this.
No, it really is, and I like the way that they've really come out here with Malin. Decided that, you know what, this is who we're gonna try and work with. We're gonna make this new hero work, and because not only have not a lot of people played it against it, we have basically a composition draft around it. Who knows how to play against this? Okay, you have to dodge the light ribbons. As soon as that hits, half your health is going to be gone, but you also have some pressure up the top lane, at least a little bit by MikuHatsune.
Yeah, look at that. They're just going to be also in the bot lane. We do see there Till Rehab. They got siege comps they're doing sieges in the mid and on bot. You just got a little bit having Maokai just a little bit pressurized in that top lane, whereas he was in that 1v2 situation. And he's still pulling it off fairly well. And now Fez just once again just crying under his own turret, trying to farm up as much as possible, trying to protect his turret. And he cannot do that successfully so far. You still have the before 4-minute buff on those turrets to allow them to take less damage, because if that buff wasn't there, the turrets would be already down in mid and bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think that the barrier has basically saved MikuHatsune. These darn Japanese words. Thus far, because otherwise, just how fast it both.
Oh. Gank in the mid lane, that's going to be a truth. Other two's coming down. Wiz followed up with that ribbon, able to CC down MikuHatsune. He's taking a reverse engagement. And look at that, Blank's just taking a hit to the face. Going to have to respect the damage output from Jazzville there. And he's just going to be popping a healing fast to save his own life. All right, they get engaged, and then you have Malin just hitting you back, slapping you down, and just saying, no, stay back. And that was Malin right now has she is the best early game mage because she has 5 abilities. And now we're going to have into that top lane a little bit of an engagement by MikuHatsune. That's going to be forcing him to use his own healing flask there to get away from Maokai's engagement. And look at that benediction. Maokai, 1-man army, just taking that 1v2 as if it was nothing and pulling it off successfully.
Well, you have to think right now, the thought for Till Rehab is that really you don't necessarily have a defined and set jungler. You have jungle camps for the bot lane to take, jungle camps for the top lane to take, or the mid lane to take. So really the top lane is just saying, all right, fine, okay, we'll go lose this lane, but we'll win the next 2 because we just have more brute force power. And that's really what's happening right now, is just that both teams really focusing on winning a lane like that right there.
Yeah, that's the first turret going over to Till Rehab in that bot lane. Just like this is a copy pasted of last game, what just happened. And they're just focusing objectives so effectively. Gonna have Jazzville almost caught out, but it's just you're so slippery as a Malin. You got 2 escape potential abilities. And you got an extra CC, so it's really good to have that in the mid lane. You avoid ganks quite easily. But we have Maokai in the top lane just going to be taunted a little bit, just saying you can't get me, boy. And that's going to be Maokai surviving once again. Going to be using the Divine Intervention just to be able to stay in lane a little bit longer, holding over 1v3 situation. He knows, oh, this was maybe a mistake. Going to be running away right there. And now they're going to try and do a 3-man push. It looks like Maokai is going to be clearing that lane so effectively. Just going to be able to keep his turret up alive in a 1v3 situation. It's a very successful push, and we see Till Rehab once again going for a very early Ghost Ring.
One of the better objectives to take in the early game, and having that just allows them to keep pushing as they are in the
Maokai going down in that top lane in that 1v3. Still able to keep his turret alive for quite a long period of time. That's unfortunately going to be going down to the hands of MikuHatsune.
It is, but this is interesting though, because they could just be trading turrets.
That didn't secure that turret. Okay. I thought they were going to be taking that one home, but apparently not. That's going to be Blanks trying to push for a second time that objective, but that's also going to be in the mid lane. Till Rehab, again, that second turret for their own. They push successfully bot, they push successfully mid. just going to be waiting for top so they can try and push that for the next probable fight. As we do see now, we have Ali Peterson going to be giving a bit of assistance to Markai, so they might be looking to take that first top lane turret for themselves. Would be a smart move indeed. They're going to be slowly rotating to mid then.
Yeah, so they're going to start backing off just a little bit. But you know what? They're going to take their turns before they do so. So really right now, MikuHatsune, their problem is that they're just not quite able to deal with the siege comps, and this really comes down to getting proper ganks and especially taking these full-on 5v5 fights, which they can't do anymore because they've lost the lead and because they're just so far behind. Rehab could just keep pushing like this and force a re-engage for MikuHatsune, which they're going to lose simply because they don't have enough gold.
Damn it! Oh, Malin almost getting a killing blow right there on Aki. Unfortunately, just a little bit out of grasp right there. Now they're going to be trying to crack open the base of the side of MikuHatsune, and they're going to be doing that successfully. Look at that. Solar Storm going to be ripping through, but doing just a bit of damage down on Urkai and Esme. And now they're going to be able to keep their turret alive a little bit longer, but you do have that minion wave coming up, and that's going to be Esme taking 2 turret shots to the face there. Just going to have to respect the damage output from that turret. Not even the side of MikuHatsune, just the turret you have to be scared of in those situations. And after Rehab, they have cracked open successfully in under 9 minutes. Like, even faster than last game, they cracked open the base, and that's just Jazzville getting completely caught out. He's going to be all trying to bait around. Unfortunately, that's not going to be working out. And he's going to be going down, giving over the first kill over to the side of MikuHatsune. And for the time being, we have Blanks doing like a split push, and it's working out quite well.
Yeah, he's been split pushing for the last like 10 years, hoping to take that turret down eventually, but he wasn't able to do it. So right now, this is a decent catch if they can. No, they can do some stuff.
Ali Peterson extremely tanky, just tanking up the damage output from the side of MikuHatsune so well, and that's going to be a really nice like counter push from the side of MikuHatsune. They're going to be securing that first mid lane turret for their own. And that's like Marco just him going in for a 1v5 situation there. We're just going to boot it out like, what have I done? And he's going to be getting back with his team of the side of Rehab. And now we're going to be seeing MikuHatsune just slowly going to be backing out to base. A little bit scared out. They want to shop. They have like core items they have to purchase. You have now the separate mask purchase on. He's playing that Rona, so he's going to be that much more sustainable. He just finished his first offensive item, and we are 9 minutes into the game. That's why I call being late on your build.
Well, it's a little bit late, but you also have to realize that he is still a Rona who doesn't need a ton of items to get working. He has more defense than he does real offensive items. So now it's just don't get caught here.
Yeah, don't get caught, but I think you said that a little bit too late as Marco is going right for Fairs, but he's going to be getting to the safety of his base. Going to be missing out, unfortunately, on that Holy Nova. And now look at that. Keiki taking those Glimmer Shots. 337 damage coming up. You do have a sneaky Blanks there on that top lane. Just going to be pushing down that top lane second turret. Going to be probably trying to look for more, but they're going to be going for, once again, trying to crack open that mid lane choke point turret. Are they going to be able to do it successfully? Ali Peterson taking quite a hit to the face. They will be securing that one quite fast. Going to be, oh, the Gauntlet coming out. Going to be, again, a 2-man CC on Ali Peterson and Arcane, but that's going to be now the counter engagement. And we see Rehab doing this perfectly well. 1-1 kill coming out. Going to be putting a bit of damage on MikuHatsune right there. That's going to be securing the kill on Koi there. Nice move coming out from Jazzville on that Malini. He's just going to go underground, avoiding all the damage and doing a really nice move, just avoiding from going down and taking people down with him before the last hit. And now Esme just helping out there.
Watch the Solar Storm. Watch it.
Solar Storm, ooh, ripping through. Gonna be, unfortunately, not doing enough damage, not able to take out Jazzville. And now Fez, he's there. He's gonna try and do something. He's there, he's everywhere, but he can't do anything. Fez not able to help out his team. And that's gonna be game number 2 going over to the side of Rehab. This is a 2-0. That means our division champions are gonna be Rehab for today.
Yeah, well, congratulations once again to Rehab 2-0ing MikuHatsune. So Rehab will take the #1 seed, while MikuHatsune will take the #2. So Rehab now, they're sitting pretty happy with their 10k ice, and they get to sit back and relax until the next playoffs, or their next game. Now, again, just a dominant performance overall by Rehab.
Yeah, just like completely like focusing objectives. That is your win conditions. Like they've done it last game, they've done it this second game, and like they do it so well because like they draft knowing that's what they're going to try and pull off. They like the Kestrel, they got the Kestrel twice, and Kestrel is just one of the best heroes so far in 3.2 to take down objectives. Like Celeste is also a really good one. They didn't have it on their own, but like they just like knew exactly what they're trying to pull off right when they were in draft, and I think that's the advantage that they had over on the side of of MikuHatsune, because like they draft heroes but not knowing how they're going to try to pull it off. That's what happened last game. They had a dive potential, but they were like, how are we going to make this work? We do not know. We're going to see when we enter the game. Team Rehab, thinking ahead, know exactly how they're going to try and pull off these matches, and they do it like successfully. And they just take once again game number 2 and become our division champion. They're taking seed number 1 in this division. So congratulations to Team Rehab. We can still be proud on the side of MikuHatsune. You put up a really nice fight there, and you made it right to the second place. So you can be extremely proud of what you've done in this tournament.
Yeah, no, you can still be extremely proud. But the other thing is that they're not out just yet. They still have more games to play, more matches to potentially win, and still the grand finals awaits. Let's see, maybe one of these two teams can really push forward. Rehab looking strong here, and MikuHatsune, if they can deal with their issues, put together a cohesive idea of what they want to do as a team, they can really start to turn things on. But anyway, I think we can call it a night.
Yeah, we're going to be calling it out. Thank you, everyone, for checking out this North American Champion League stream. Once again, it was Team Rehab taking it 2-0 up against MikuHatsune. Very dominant performance right there. Before we call it a day, as a reminder, don't hesitate to go check out NACL, the North American Champion League, on social media, on Twitter and Discord. They will be helping out a lot. And if you guys like this type of content, you will also stay updated with what's new and what's coming up. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. My name was Maxman, joined by 360 No Scope. Do you have anything to add before we wrap this up?
No, not really. So yeah, thank you all for coming out.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching.